Keira Lhotan. You already know I'm a huge fan, and let me tell you, the confidence with which she speaks is definitely warranted.
Women, you need to understand what you need to do every morning.
Psych! What a moron! Let's get into it. This video is called The Real Psychology Behind Why Women Test You. Most men fail this.
You ever feel like no matter what you do, she always finds something to question? Most men will call this being difficult, but the real reason is much deeper than that.
The real reason is she's bored and she wants attention, and she doesn't care what kind of attention it is. It's a manipulation tactic, and it's a way of exerting control over you. Now, since I am familiar with Keira's content, I've watched lots of her videos, usually with the volume turned off, but I haven't figured out a way yet to turn the video titles off. So just from the titles of her videos, I am aware that for the most part, she more or less just tends to parrot red pill talking points. So I already know she's about to start talking about shit testing. And I think there is something to that, in a sense. But I actually don't think women are usually testing their man intentionally. I think what happens is these broads get bored and they want attention, so they act like a child to get a reaction, and that's the reason they act like that. But they will evaluate the man based on how he reacts. Just because, of course, everyone's always judging everyone else. You can't help but do that. That's just part of human nature. So, quote-unquote shit tests aren't usually concocted with the intention of testing the guy. The evaluation is just a byproduct of the behavior that was exhibited out of boredom. Although, from a man's perspective, that distinction doesn't really matter. Either way, it's manipulative. By the way, guys, I'm sorry the clips are kinda low quality in this one. I had to zoom in really far because for some reason, I guess she thought it was a good idea to just not wear a shirt in this video. She is wearing something, but you couldn't call it a shirt. I know it would probably be okay, but I'm just playing it safe here, so yeah.
We're not testing your actions, we're testing your energy.
Maybe this shouldn't bother me as much as it does, but I really hate it when people say just stupid, meaningless crap like this, where it's like, okay, so you're testing the man's energy, not his actions, but how are you evaluating his energy? Is it perhaps by seeing how he reacts? It's by seeing his actions, right? I'm sure that sounded real smart and intellectual in her head, but it's just nonsense. Anyways, not really important.
Now, this is not manipulation.
Like hell it ain't.
This is women being wired to look for security, to look for stability.
Yeah, I agree. It is that. But acting like an idiot just to see how someone reacts, that's manipulative. I mean, just think about it. You're saying you test a guy by squawking about some bullshit that you don't actually care about just to elicit a response so you can evaluate his character. That is textbook manipulation. You could just evaluate a man's character over time as you get to know each other just by, hanging out, making regular conversation, maybe doing some activities together or whatever. Over time, if you just spend time with someone, you are naturally going to get a good read on how they think and how they act in a variety of situations. When you just test a guy just to test him, what kind of useful information do you think you're going to get from that? I mean, don't be surprised when you act like a moron if the person you're treating like that gets bothered by your idiocy and they maybe don't give you the most stable, secure reaction. Maybe he's just reacting like an unstable, insecure jerk because he's matching your energy.
Our emotional gauge allows us to see subtle emotional changes faster than men. We can see energy shifts like that. So we will bounce on them really quick to get an answer, to test our man.
Yeah, exactly. Manipulation. If you're so good at reading people's emotions or their shifts in energy or whatever the heck she just said, then why do you need to test a guy? Just evaluate his behavior or his energy without testing him. If you spend time with a person, different types of situations and different conflicts will naturally arise, and you should be able to just evaluate him based on that. You don't need to test him like you're the freaking Joseph Mengele of relationships.
We're looking for stability. The moment a man starts getting defensive and angry and impatient, that's when a woman starts feeling unsafe.
God forbid a man get impatient with you when you're literally acting like an idiot child on purpose just to test him. I mean, duh. And do you really want a man that's just going to be a punching bag for all of your manipulative bullshit? Because that's what you're really testing for when you do that. Wouldn't you rather be with a guy that's willing to put his foot down and call you out when you try to pull some childish foul play like that? Oh my God, all I did was trick him into saying that he thinks my sister's pretty, and then I threw a tantrum like a child as if I wasn't the one that tricked him into saying that in the first place. Now he's getting defensive? I'm so scared. I feel unsafe. Keira, sweetheart, listen to me. If you act idiotically and unfairly towards another person, you intentionally offend them, then it is not unreasonable for that person to act defensive in response. Because, duh, you attacked first. You offended them on purpose. You offend, they defend. That's how it works.
Why we don't want you to respond defensively, why we don't want you to respond angrily. We don't want our behavior, our emotions and feelings to control you. Simple as that.
I don't think anyone's confused about why y'all do this, but if you don't want to be with a man that acts like a B word, you can figure that out without acting like a B word towards him just to test him. Like, inevitably, if you are dating someone, I don't care how compatible you are, eventually you will have some disagreements and you will have arguments, so those moments should allow you to evaluate his behavior. You don't need to start an argument just to get that information. That's just you being a manipulative jerk. And also, if you just act respectfully and behave like a reasonable person as you continue to get to know somebody, there's a good chance eventually you'll encounter a situation where you get to witness how he responds to foolish behavior because somebody else will act foolishly around him when you are also there to witness it. So again, you don't need to test, okay? Your boyfriend or your husband or whatever is supposed to be someone that you can depend on, and he needs to be able to depend on you too. Yes, the roles you each play are different, that's how it's supposed to be. But there isn't a man on this planet that wants his woman to act like a little kid playing Fisher-Price baby's first social experiment, acting like a damn donkey, just pushing his buttons, trying to elicit a reaction so you have another data point for your analysis. Just act normal. Be kind. Be respectful. Testing people is not respectful. And also, just to reiterate, I don't believe that most shit tests are on purpose. I do think women evaluate men based on how they react to ignorant, childish behavior, but they aren't acting like that for the purpose of testing. They really are just ignorant and childish. So, Keira, I'm sure you've had enough experience to know that you can act like that and test men all the time, and you probably won't get too much backlash from them, especially if you do what you say that women ought to do every morning with their man, like what you said in that other video.
Women, you need to understand what you need to do every morning.
You know, I'll tell it to you straight. I'm not trying to look cool to my audience or whatever. You're a very attractive girl. Even with the Adam's apple and everything, you know, that's not really a big deal. You are very attractive. So you can get away with a whole lot of bullshit. And I'm sure you do. So you might not realize this, but it's actually morally wrong to manipulate people and treat them poorly just to see how they react. Even if you're doing your womanly duties and, you know, taking care of his needs physically, it's still not right to randomly act like a psycho just to test a guy. And think about it. If you test him enough, he's not going to like that. And he will resent you, and he will start to dislike being around you, except for when you're being intimate together. And he might even stay with you and put up with that behavior. But is that what you want? Do you want your significant other to hate your personality, but just stay with you anyways, just because of what you do with your body? When you test a man like that, you are reducing yourself to an object. But you do you. If you're okay with that, then that's your prerogative.
If you fold under our pressure, if you fold and get angry, get unresponsive, a woman sees that and is like, that's emotional inconsistency.
It's not emotionally inconsistent to react with anger when a full-grown adult is acting like a spoiled child toward you. That is consistent. If you respect yourself and you're grounded firmly in your own beliefs and you firmly believe that adults should treat each other with respect, then it is consistent to get angry and react angrily when somebody you are in a relationship with tries to test you by pushing your buttons on purpose.
If you disagree with us, that's okay. But make sure it's not out of anger. Be calm and be kind. Simple as that.
You don't deserve kindness when you treat people like test subjects. Now, I'll refer back to the intro of her video. I didn't include this part, but the examples she gave of how women test their men is things like randomly asking him who he's texting or intentionally acting distant just to elicit a reaction. Keira, do not expect kindness from someone you are actively playing games with. You can probably find plenty of men that will give you the kind, stable reactions you think you deserve, but please understand, they hate when you play these stupid little games. They're just giving you what you want so they can fuck you. Okay? They're just putting up with you so they can get it in with you. If instead you just act like a nice, respectful person and you treat your man with the same damn stability you want him to show you, maybe then you can experience what it's like to be in a meaningful relationship with someone that actually likes you for your brain and not just for the brain you give him.
We're going to say something that we know is emotionally going to trigger you. This is not manipulation here. I'm going to remind you again, this is not manipulation. This is quite literally seeing into the future.
Forget about whether or not it's manipulative to do this, but Keira, you're talking about intentionally saying something to your man that you know is going to piss him off. So what you're doing is intentionally making your man feel bad just so you can test him. I know I keep saying this, but it really is important. Please hear me, Keira. You don't have to test a man to find out how he reacts to these things. Just spend time with him and be normal. You will find out everything you need to know about a man naturally just by being around him enough. You do not need to test somebody to find out what kind of person they are.
Will this man be able to handle emotions, not just of me, but of his own children?
Well, at least she admits that the way he responds to her tests should reflect how he would respond to his children. That's probably because she knows that she acts like a child. So, at least she knows that much. That's a good first step.
We want him to feel like he can ground himself and not need his woman to ground him or need his woman to respond a certain way or feel a certain way to ground him.
Well, if this is the way you treat people, Keira, you can rest assured there is no man on this planet that would ever make the mistake of thinking they could depend on you to ground them. Because frankly, you are not an emotionally stable person if you truly believe it is okay to test people like this. Okay? How would you feel if a man just started crying around you just to test how you react? You wouldn't like it, right? Even if after the fact you did know he was just faking it, it wouldn't make a difference, would it? Because you still had the experience of him acting in a way that you don't want to be around. But that's what you're doing. And that is exactly what's happening when you test a man like this.
If we say something like, hey, why didn't you get that promotion? Or something that will emotionally trigger him, right? Like if you start to question, what do you mean? What do you mean, why didn't I get that promotion? You know why I didn't get that promotion. Ba-da-da-da-da. Oh my God. Like start getting real emotional about it and start reacting defensively. That's when we're like, oh, okay, he's got some unfinished business here.
The only unfinished business that man has is walking out the door and saying goodbye to your sorry ass. I don't know how this isn't obvious, but there is nothing wrong with reacting angrily when somebody just talks shit to you for no reason, especially when they know it's a sensitive subject. And also, I don't believe what she's saying here. Like, if she was with a guy that reacted angrily like that when she's just being a massive B-word for no reason, I think she actually might respect him for putting her in her place. Maybe I just really don't understand women, but I don't think women are attracted to guys that don't even respect themselves enough to defend themselves when some ditzy lunatic verbally attacks him out of the blue for no reason.
Remember, we're all mirrors to each other. Life is a mirror, and women are only going to mirror what you need to still work on in your life.
Well, damn, I guess that must mean you want your man to act like a manipulative sociopath that plays games with you for no good reason instead of just from day one treating you with the same respect he wants you to treat him with in return. I swear, it's like everything she says is more ridiculous than the last thing she said.
The attention test. Women do this all the time. Distance. Distance. For a couple days, she might be quiet. Give you, not so many explanations. She's just giving you one word answers. She's going ghost. She's distancing herself from you. Right now, she is testing, are you going to look for her validation? Or are you still confident in yourself and able to keep pushing forward?
Stop playing these stupid games. If you want to talk to somebody, then talk to them. And if you don't, then don't. But when you change how you respond to someone just to test them, that is manipulative. And again, you don't need to do that to get the information you're testing for. If you want to know if a guy is too clingy or whatever, I promise you, you will figure that out naturally without playing these stupid little games. What makes you think you deserve a man that fits all your criteria anyways when the way you act is like this? Like a relationship terrorist. Always pulling some bullshit, concocting some clever little scheme just to test him. You don't deserve the dirt on the bottom of my shoe, Keira. You little narcissist. You have no respect for other people. And also, don't be surprised when you play these little attention-seeking games if the man you're toying with mirrors your actions and plays games right back at you.
To pass the test, you need to stay confident. You need to not question this. You need to, all right, she's feeling some type of way, okay? You don't need to label her. No, that's the one thing a man will do wrong is label her. Oh, she's being difficult. Oh, she's on her period. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Labeling her will just give everything she needs to know about you.
You do not have a good read on men if you think that a man calling you out on your game-playing bullcrap is demonstrating a lack of confidence. If you indeed are acting difficult, intentionally so, if a man is confident, then telling it to you straight is exactly what a confident man would do. Like, if you just suddenly start ignoring your boyfriend out of the blue or acting distant for no reason, unless you want to be with a man that also likes playing these little games, then you should want him to say, like, hey, why are you acting like a bitch right now? You know if you're acting like a manipulative, borderline personality disorder demon, then any man with any confidence whatsoever is going to either call you out on it or he'll just dump you. Or what he might do is he might demote you to side piece status where you belong because you have clearly demonstrated that you are not relationship material. But he still might want to let you do what you think women need to understand they need to do every morning.
Women, you need to understand what you need to do every morning.
But he's not going to take you seriously. You are a manipulator. You are a game player, okay? Women talk about how there's no good men anymore and men only want one thing. Well, this is why. How can you expect a man to want anything else from you when you're always playing games and you push his buttons for no reason and you ignore him out of the blue for no reason just to test him? Always testing him to see if he's still up to snuff. When you treat a man like that, don't be surprised when he starts treating you like the only thing he wants from you is.
It's all about the future here. Women think naturally about being a mother, being in a family, right? We want to look for our future husband and our future father for our children.
Then why don't you start acting like you deserve those things? Believe it or not, Men think about those things too. So if a man has options and he sees you always testing him like this, you think he's going to think that you would make a good mother, that you would make a good wife?
The third test is all about integrity. An integrity test is to call out a man or disagree with him strongly. If a woman knows that you disagree on something she agrees on, or she's just testing how much you really believe in it, that is testing your integrity. That's testing, will he fold?
God damn, Keira. You're talking about just starting an argument when you don't even necessarily disagree just to test a guy. Do you really think it's okay to do that? And do you really think that guys don't pick up on that? That you're just talking shit just to test him? How about you have some integrity yourself and you just say what the hell you believe and you treat your man with the same respect and kindness that you want him to show you in return? Is that really so hard to do? Just be real. Stop it with these childish games. You're not doing yourself any favors. You think you're being clever, but really, you're just being a massive B word. And you know what? I'll say it. I'm going to say it. You're acting like a C word.
So when we test your integrity, we're not just testing you to disagree with you, to start an argument. We just want to know where you stand.
Okay, first of all, I don't believe you. I think most of the time when women act like this, they're just starting a random argument just because they're bored and they want attention. But even if it really is just master manipulation, or you're just running a little experiment on your human test subject, that doesn't change the fact that from the man's perspective, he just sees you starting frivolous arguments all the time, so that is going to affect how he sees you and what he thinks of you. It would be one thing if you were just presenting all this information like, this is just what women do. It's not right, but like it or not, this is what they do, so be ready. But you're acting like it's actually just 100% okie dokie to play these games. Like, actually, women are just super duper intelligent and we're all pretty much scientists and we're making the world a better place by toying with your emotions and starting arguments for no damn reason. Keira, you'll probably end up with some chiseled jawline hunk alpha male making high six figures, and he'll probably provide you with everything you ever wanted, but that's just because of how you look. You don't deserve to be with, literally, you don't deserve to be with a snail. A snail. If you think that this horse hockey is okay. Please think about what you're saying and know that it's not right. It's not right to behave in that way.
When it comes to disagreeing with a man, we're not just disagreeing to be a bitch. No. We're disagreeing because we want you to really believe in yourself.
We're not starting stupid arguments just to be a B word. We're starting stupid arguments to make you believe in yourself. Just idiotic.
Every test is her subconscious asking, can you be the piece that I trust?
That's not your subconscious, you moron. When you test someone with intention and you're seeking a desired result, that's just the regular consciousness. You are fully aware of what you're doing. That's not subconscious. But hey, big word. That's a big word. You sound smart. So cool.
Most women are not even aware we're testing you. This is just how we feel.
Okay, so which is it? Because the whole time you've been acting like, oh, this isn't women just acting like idiots just because they're bored. We're testing you. Okay, so if that's not intentional and you're doing these things just because that's how you naturally act, then don't call that a test. That's not what a test is. That's just you being a brat. You're not a scientist performing an experiment and analyzing your observations. You're just a moronic little girl throwing tantrums because you can't control yourself. Stop trying to intellectualize and make excuses for your bad behavior. Oh ho ho, oh, you thought I was just acting like a toddler because I have no emotional maturity? Oh, no, no, no. See, the truth is, I've been testing you the whole time. Okay, I mean, I already know this is what Keira does. She just yaps and yaps about some bullshit, contradicting herself time and time again. Then she posts the video and she rakes in the cash. But it's not like it matters what she says anyways. Most of her audience is watching the video on mute. I do wonder if she actually realizes that though. They aren't watching you for your opinions, Keira. I'm sorry to tell you if you didn't know. That's not the reason why people watch your videos.
Usually when we're testing it, we know there's something up.
Okay, so you know the reason why you're testing your man, but you are not aware that you're testing him. You're so in touch with your emotions, yet you act on your emotions, acting a damn fool. But actually, you do know why you're testing him. You just didn't know that testing him was what you were doing. None of this makes sense. This is why everybody puts your videos on mute when they watch them. The visual component is engaging. It's pretty good visually, usually. This video here is not the best. I'm not really sure what you're doing with your hair here. Looks kind of flat. And it's not the best angle either with the way your nose is. But yeah, you need to work on your words because the words that you say in your videos, it's a bunch of nonsense.
Because a woman who really cares about you wants you to do good for yourself, wants you to be stable in yourself because she believes in the relationship.
In my opinion, if a woman really cares about me and she wants me to succeed and be happy and all that, then let me tell you, I think the worst thing she could do would be testing me by pushing my buttons, talking shit, ignoring me and acting distant, and starting random arguments, again, just to test me. And I don't care if it's intentional or if it's subconscious or whatever. If a woman cares about me, then she should not be doing those things. Because to me, that is a pattern of behavior that shows me that she does not respect me enough to treat me with even a basic level of human decency. All right, I think that's all I can bear to listen to. I did look at the comments on the video just because I was curious, and it's pretty funny. I scrolled down for a while, and I don't think I saw a single positive comment. There was a couple of comments in there telling her how beautiful she looks or whatever, but the majority of comments were just calling her out on her bullshit. So, I guess that means we all passed the test, boys. Hell yeah, we got stability, or whatever the fuck she was saying. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and show this to your mom. That bitch needs to learn some respect. Thank you for watching.